Scroll lock key. It's been sitting in the top row of your keyboard your entire life, right next to print screen. You've never pressed it, and if you have, nothing happened. But it wasn't always useless. Back in the 1980s, computers didn't have mice. You used arrow keys to move your cursor around. But screens were tiny. You couldn't fit much text on them, so you needed to scroll. Problem was, your arrow keys were already busy moving the cursor. They couldn't scroll too, so they created scroll lock. Press it, and suddenly your arrow keys stopped moving the cursor and started scrolling the whole page instead. Simple, effective, essential. Then the mouse happened. Scroll wheels, scroll bars, drag and drop. Nobody needed a special key to scroll anymore. Scroll lock became useless overnight, but Microsoft never removed it. Why? Because changing the keyboard layout would confuse people, so they just left it there. For decades, doing nothing, almost nothing uses scroll lock anymore, except Excel. In Excel, scroll lock lets you scroll around the spreadsheet without changing which cell you have selected. Your arrow keys move the view, not the cursor. Actually useful, but most keyboards don't even have an indicator light anymore. So when you press it, you have no idea if it's on or off. Scroll lock is a relic, a key that solved a problem nobody has anymore. It sits on your keyboard out of pure tradition. You'll probably never use it. SysRq key. Look at your keyboard, find the print screen key, now look right below it. See that tiny text? SysRq. That little key used to be something special. Back in the old days, SysRq stood for System Request, and it did exactly what it sounds like. It let you send a request directly to the operating system. No menus, no interfaces, just you, the key, and the computer's core. You could press it, type a command, and the system would listen. It was like having a backdoor to talk to your computer without any software getting in the way. Then Windows happened, and SysRq died. Today, in Windows, that key does absolutely nothing. Nothing. You can press it 1,000 times and your computer won't even blink. No program uses it. There's no standardized function. It's completely and utterly useless. But here's where it gets interesting. If you're using Linux, System Request is still alive. It's called the Magic System Request key, and it's actually one of the most powerful keys on your keyboard. When your system freezes and nothing responds, no mouse, no keyboard shortcuts, nothing. You can press Alt plus System Request plus a specific letter to send direct commands to the kernel. You can restart. You can sync files. You can safely shut down. It bypasses everything and talks straight to the operating system's brain. In Windows, though, completely useless. You will never press this key for any reason. It's a ghost, a leftover from a time when computers were simpler and keys actually meant something. Pause break key. Back in the days of DOS and early computers, when you booted up your machine, text would fly down the screen so fast you couldn't read it. Error messages, system info, hardware detection, all scrolling past in a blur. You'd miss everything. Enter pause. Press the pause key and suddenly everything froze. The text stopped scrolling. You could actually read what was on the screen. Press it again and it continued. Simple, brilliant. Essential for anyone who wanted to know what their computer was doing. And break, that was for interrupting. If a program was running and you needed to stop it immediately, you pressed break. It was the emergency stop button, the equivalent of Control+C before Control+C existed. Then Windows came along, graphical interfaces, mice, pretty screens. Nobody needed to freeze text anymore because everything was displayed nicely in Windows, and nobody needed to interrupt programs because you could just close them with a click. Pause break key became pointless overnight. But here's the thing. It still does something. In the command prompt, if you're running a program and text is flying by, pause will stop it. Press it again and it resumes. And if you press Control plus break, it actually interrupts the program entirely. There's also one shortcut that still works everywhere. Press Windows key plus pause break and it instantly opens system properties, your computer specs, processor, RAM, Windows version. All right there, one key combo. That's probably the most useful thing this key does in modern Windows. Home key. This one's simple. Press it and your cursor jumps to the beginning of the line. That's it. Nothing fancy, nothing complicated. Most people never press home. They grab their mouse, they click at the start of the line, they drag their cursor back. Slow, clunky, wasted time. Home solves that. One press. Instant. You're at the start of the line. Every time. Press Control plus Home, and your cursor jumps to the very beginning of the entire document. Not just the line, the whole thing. Press Shift plus Home, and you highlight everything from your cursor to the start of the line. Control plus Shift plus Home highlights everything from your cursor to the start of the entire document. Perfect for selecting huge chunks of text without dragging your mouse across 20 pages. And here's a bonus. In your web browser, home scrolls you to the very top of the page. No more frantic scrolling through endless articles. This key is hiding in plain sight, right there on your keyboard, next to insert and delete. Most people ignore them, but they save you time, real time, every single day. End key. If home sends you to the beginning, end sends you to the opposite. One press and your cursor jumps to the very end of the line. That's it. Simple, fast. No mouse required. Most people never press it. They reach for their mouse, they click at the end of the line, they drag, they waste time. End does it instantly. One key, that's it. And just like home, end gets even better with modifiers. Press Ctrl plus end, and your cursor jumps to the absolute bottom of your document, all the way down. Instantly, no scrolling through pages and pages of text. Ctrl plus home takes you to the top. Ctrl plus end takes you to the bottom. Two keys. Full document navigation. Press Shift plus end, and you highlight everything from your cursor to the end of the line. Ctrl plus Shift plus end highlights everything from your cursor to the end of the entire document. Perfect for selecting massive chunks of text in one go. And in your web browser, end scrolls you all the way to the bottom of the page, instantly. No more scrolling through endless articles or comment sections. Just hit end and you're there. Insert key. This key is a menace. You've probably never pressed it on purpose, but you've definitely pressed it by accident. And when you did, chaos followed. Here's what happens. You're typing away. Everything is normal. Then suddenly words start disappearing. You type hello and it overwrites goodbye. Letters get eaten. Sentences get destroyed. You think your keyboard is broken. You think your computer is possessed. You have no idea what's happening. That's insert. That's what it does. Insert toggles between two typing modes. Insert mode, the normal one, pushes existing text forward when you type. You type hello and goodbye becomes hello goodbye. Everything moves forward. That's how typing is supposed to work. Then there's overtype mode, the nightmare one. In overtype mode, anything you type replaces whatever is in front of your cursor. You type hello and goodbye becomes hello. The goodbye is gone, replaced, overwritten, destroyed. And the worst part? There's no visual indicator on most keyboards. No light, no beep, no warning. You just press insert by mistake and suddenly your document is being eaten alive and you have no idea why. Here's the thing. Insert mode is the default. That's what you want, but insert is a toggle. Press it once and you're in overtype purgatory. Press it again and you're back to normal. Simple. But if you don't know what happened, you'll spend 5 minutes panicking, restarting your computer, and thinking you've lost your mind. Some programs show an indicator in the status bar, others don't. And if you're in a program that doesn't show anything, good luck. Here's a fun fact. This key is a great way to prank your friends. Wait until they're typing something important. Look away for a second, press insert. Watch the confusion when they start typing and everything gets overwritten. They'll have no idea what happened. You can be the hero who shows them how to fix it, or you can just watch them suffer. Page up and page down key. You know how you scroll through a web page or document? Slowly, line by line. Mouse wheel spinning. Finger dragging the scroll bar. It takes forever. Page up fixes that. One press and you jump up an entire screen's worth of content. Instantly. No scrolling, no dragging, no waiting. You're just up there. Fast, efficient, done. Page up doesn't scroll one line. It scrolls roughly one viewport height. The exact amount depends on the program, but it's always the same idea. You see a screen. You press page up. Now you see the screen above it. Simple. Massive time saver. And page down does the opposite. One press and you jump down an entire screen. Perfect for reading long articles, scanning documents, or just getting through stuff faster. But here's a trick most people don't know. In your web browser, instead of pressing page down, press the spacebar. It does the same thing. Scrolls down one page's worth of content. And your thumb is already on the spacebar anyway. Faster, smoother. You'll never use page down again. Menu key. Between the right Alt key and the right Control key. See that key with the little menu icon? That's the menu key, also called the context menu key. Press it and it opens a context menu wherever your cursor is, exactly the same as right-clicking. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Same menu, same options, same functionality, just without the mouse. Imagine your mouse breaks, or your trackpad stops working, or you're using a laptop and the touchpad is being annoying. You can still right-click. You can still access all those menu options. Copy, paste, delete, properties, everything, just with your keyboard. The menu key is the backup plan, the emergency button. The key you never knew you needed until you really needed it. Most keyboards don't even have this key anymore. Manufacturers replace it with a function key or a second Windows key. And honestly, most people don't notice. Because most people never used it in the first place. Your keyboard's been hiding these keys your whole life. Turns out your USB ports have been hiding something too. Every color means something, and I explained all of it right here. Every USB port color explained is on screen right now.